For years, the Wii has been criticized as the low man on the technological totem pole. Yeah, it couldn't push graphics like the 360 the PS3 could, but it could point at things. So when Square Enix essentially built a DS emulator for the Wii and considered it a retail release, not that many people were shocked. Let's be absolutely frank, this is a DS game that they just jury-rigged to work with the Wii's motion controls. Viz. A digital finger capable of acting upon a virtual DS touchscreen, which is fighting with the main screen for real estate on your TV, and if that sounds ridiculous and almost laughable, you're absolutely right. If you've seen Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles Ring of Fates, the previous DS Crystal Chronicles offering, the gameplay is going to look almost identical, because it is pretty much identical. However, the story is significantly less saccharine, and there aren't any egregious verbal tics that make you want to punch a wall. So technically, they've managed to address my primary issues with that game. Instead, the hero of your choice, shortly after their coming-of-age ceremony, which in true Final Fantasy fashion involves a huge honkin' crystal, is tasked with traveling outside the village to find medicine for a sick girl. Unfortunately, this finds our hero indebted to a creepy dude with a bad Germanic accent, which immediately sends up red flags. It's not going to win any awards for writing, but it is going to serve as a decent backbone to that fantastic DS FFCC gameplay. Building on the system left by its predecessor, Echoes of Time puts the familiar Final Fantasy cast of monsters and such in a 3/4 overhead view action RPG, kind of like Diablo with more interesting hair colors. Whether you're on the DS or the Wii, your primary concerns are running around, casting, picking up things, collecting materials for new items and such, picking up mobs and beating their heads into walls, the usual spiel. However, this Wii version suffers from one particularly egregious problem. If you don't mean to be pointing at something on the touchscreen area, which you don't really have occasion to do that often outside of switching which spell to cast, don't have the controller pointing anywhere near the screen. Accidentally drift the cursor up there for whatever reason, and your A button goes from attack to poke whatever the finger's pointing at, which really sucks for the kind of active battles you tend to get into here. But aside from the Wii's shortcomings, the game itself functions commendably. Even when you're juggling an entire party, what you've hired to take the heat off your own self. Or if you actually have friends, you can bring them in via multiplayer, even across platforms. That's right, Wii DS connectivity is still a thing that exists, as Echoes of Time joins the ranks of Pokemon Battle Revolution and, I struggle to think of a third. You know what, just cast this Wii version in its weird two-window style off into space and play the DS version, which gives you all the action and entertainment, but without the control issues or a glaring reassertion that the Wii's maybe not the greatest graphical powerhouse on the block.